Thank you Cardi10 for becoming a channel member. Your support is truly appreciated. I was told that this figure is really bad, but is that really the case? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at an AliExpress knockoff of amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Joker, the 1.0 version. A big thank you to Salix Wholesale Toy Store on AliExpress for sending this figure for a review, and in case you want to get your copy you can do so over my link in the video description. Now, same as with Arkham Batman KO, I was told that this Joker is also really bad, but because you guys wanted me to review it anyway, here we are. We're gonna see if it's really as bad as I was told. As always, we're gonna start with the packaging. This time it's the older style that Revoltech used to have for their boxes. A lot of bright colors and comic book panels all over the place. We have a big plastic window showing the figure and some of the accessories, and I have to say immediately I don't like what I'm seeing here, but we'll get to that in a moment. Here we have a promo shot of the figure and surprisingly amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech logo. Side of the box shows a fantastic comic book close-up of the Joker with a small promo image of the figure. Back of the box shows all this craziness and included accessories. Here is the other side of the box, more illustrations on top and on the bottom. But now, let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. Here is our Joker KO out of the box, and I will be honest, this doesn't look good. The body is fine, but the head looks awful. Don't get me wrong, there are some issues with the body as well, but the head is really bad. On the other hand, all the joints except the right toe joint are nice and sturdy, so that's a positive thing about this figure. This Joker KO is around 15.5 centimeters tall, and if I remember correctly, that is shorter than the original, but we'll compare them a bit later. Now, while this guy does look strange with all the cuts and lanky proportions, that is how the original looks as well. But as already mentioned, there are some issues with the body. This toe joint is very loose and the pin is sticking out. There are these gaps where the tie cut is, and it's especially bad on this leg. You can try to close it, but you never can completely. Elbow joints are kind of too tight, so you will need to heat them up or use a drop of oil to loosen them up. This piece of his shirt is a loose piece that tends to flop up and down. But here is a closer look at this horrible head sculpt. This looks really bad. The whole face looks soft and cheap. Teeth look like they don't fit well inside the mouth, but paint job of the face is just awful. It looks dirty, muddy, just overall bad. The hair is fine, I guess, in comparison to the face, but the head looks like someone chewed it up and spat it out. The problem is that the sculpt is bad, so I don't think that this is something that can be fixed with a custom paint job. The rest of the figure looks fine, although the sculpt is soft again. And there are those issues that I talked about. I'm sure those can be fixed, so you could use this body, but you will need to get another head sculpt to make this figure look better. The thing that I've noticed is that they are using purple ball joints for the wrists, and those should be white, same as the gloves. There is a big gap here, but the pants do look good with all of these sculpted lines, and then his shoes, and here is the back of the figure. This part of his coat is on a small Revoltech ball joint here, so it hinges. Here we see the peg hole for the stand, but yeah, you can see that the plastic is kind of rough on the details, and these shoulder pieces are pegged into the arms, same as on the original. Yeah, not a good looking figure at all, especially the head sculpt. This looks horrible. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head and the neck give you a nice range of movement. He can look side to side, and he has a nice side to side tilt. Here's how far he can look down and up. This collar is a separate piece. He has that Revoltech style of butterfly joint, but this one doesn't go back and forwards like we usually see. This one actually rotates, swivels like this. So this is the extra range of movement that you get. And then we have a Revoltech ball joint in the shoulders, and as I said, these shoulder pieces are on a swivel, so they do move, they go out of the way when you articulate the arms. Here is how far the arms can go across the chest, and And then here is how far they can go across his back. It's a double ball joint in the shoulders, so the arms can go slightly up and down. This is how far they go out. We have a swivel in the elbow, and here is how far the elbows bend. Then we have another swivel in the wrists and a hinge in all directions. We have two cuts in the torso, so here we get our side-to-side rotation and a side-to-side tilt. Here is how far he bends forward and back. As already mentioned, this lower part of the coat hinges and swivels, and this thing wants to ride up again, so we need to pull it down. Legs go out all the way. Here is how far they move forwards and back. There is a tie cut. Knees bend this much. Then we have swivel in the ankles. Feet move forward slightly, and this is how far they move back. We have a toe joint and a generous ankle pivot. And once again, you can see this ugly gap here and here in the thighs. Let's now take a look at his accessories. He comes with a display stand that you need to assemble, and then with these plastic laughing effects that can be attached to his back. And then if you were expecting that the alternate head is maybe better than the one that is on the figure, unfortunately, this is what we get. Now, maybe you do think that this is better, I don't know, but it probably is slightly better in terms of sculpt. But the paint job is really awful, so there's that. We also get few pairs of hands. A pair of fisted hands are already on the figure. Then we get a pair of open hands, a pair of trigger finger hands, and a pair of grabbing hands. We get these teeth and his cane with a nicely sculpted head at the top. Then we get this fake pistol with this bang sign shooting out of it, and a pair of pistols without that sign. We also get a pair of firing effects, and these fit perfectly on the guns. Then we get a pair of these dummy guns, I guess, and these also look really good. The sculpt is nice, and these firing effects also fit perfectly on these weapons. We get an extra joint and this small clip, and these connect together like this. This is actually used for these laughing effects. So what I want you to do is to slide this inside like this, but for some reason they didn't fully hollow out the space between these two plastic pieces. I don't know if you can see it, but here and here there is some plastic that gets in the way when you want to slide this in. So this is practically useless. Now what you can do is cut that off, free up that space, and now it slides in. But at least it's an easy fix. You just need to cut that plastic inside. So we plug this into his back, but of course we can't do that because this back hole is too small. Let's try to do this. There. So it can be done, but with a little bit of rough customizing. Here is how that looks in the back. Here is how the alternate head looks on the figure. And you also get this tool because his eyes do articulate. They are movable, but they are like in an angle where this piece here is in the way. And so it's kind of hard to get to the eyes. Well, at least they do move easily, so that's good. Let's see how will switching of the hands go. These are really tight on those wrists, but okay, they do come off. And here is the wrist joint. We will give him trigger finger hand, but it's a really tight fit. And let's give him one of his guns, and this is also a really tight fit, but it works. So here is what we have. Now I have here the original alternate head, and I just wanted to check if it will fit on this body before we move on to the comparisons. And luckily enough, this looks like it fits. Well, not perfectly. Oh yeah, there was a click, and now it is fully on. So yeah, at least we have that. If I decide to use this body to keep it, then at least I can use the alternate head from my original Joker on this body. As you can see, it doesn't look bad. With this body being a bit shorter, a bit smaller than the original, this works pretty well. So if there is a positive that I would want to point out as a reason to buy this KO set, it would definitely be the accessories. They alone are worth getting because you can use them for some other Joker or some other figures in general in your collection. For the price of around 20 bucks or euros, I think that this is worth getting just for the accessories. Let's now compare this guy to some other figures. And of course, we're gonna start with comparing this KO to the original release. This is Revoltech 1.5 Joker, but it's basically the same figure. The only real difference is that the 1.5 version comes with a bit more accessories. But just look at the difference here. The original is not only taller, bigger, but when you see them side by side, you can really tell how awful the KO is. Here are the two alternate heads side by side, and then here are the two main heads side by side. You can see that it is definitely night and day. This is horrible, just awful. I mean, again, recently because of CT and a few other companies, we got used to seeing some great knockoffs. This is just not on that standard. Look how bad this is. I know that Revoltech is stylized and it's not for everyone, but this looks far more realistic in this sense than what we are getting here. And then same goes for the rest of the body. You can see that the colors are brighter on the original and the sculpt is sharper. This looks softer in comparison. Here are the lines on the pants and then the shoes, and then here is the back of both figures. The original is, of course, by all standards, much superior figure than this KO. Here's how he scales with the ACT knockoff of Revoltech Arkham Batman and the original Revoltech Arkham Batman. And I have reviews for both of these guys on the channel. And then here is how he scales with CT Toys knockoff of Revoltech Agent Venom and an AliExpress Max knockoff of 2.0 Deadpool. And then with CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine and the Amazing Spider-Man, SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Sentinel Peter B. Parker, Mayfax Classic Suit Spidey and Daredevil, Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and Symbiote Spidey, Star Wars The Black Series Vader and Stormtrooper, and then to see how he scales with some larger figures, here he is next to the NECA TMNT movie Raphael and Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man, NECA Feral Predator and Savage Crucible Vetaris Repax, and finally YOLO Park Transformers AMK Pro Series, Optimus and Starscream. So there you go, that was my look at a knockoff of Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Joker the 1.0 version. I will be honest, I really don't like this copy, and that's not something that I used to saying in my reviews. Usually I tend to get the figures that I know or I hear are good, but this time I am very disappointed. I mean, there are still good things you can take out of this set. If you fix some of the issues on the body, it will be fine, but you will definitely need a better head sculpt, at least in my opinion. As you saw, you can use the one from the original Revoltech Joker or probably some other head sculpts that are out there. But for me the main positive here are the accessories. You get a lot of them here and all can be used with your other figures. So there. In generally I don't recommend this figure, but if you see something that will be useful to you, you can get it over the link in the video description. But you've heard my thoughts and now I would love to hear yours. What do you guys think about this knockoff? Do you see something valuable here? Something that would make you want to buy this set? Let me know all of it down in the comments. As always, a huge thank you to my Patreon and channel members for their support. If you can also join and help, please do so. Links are in the video description. And of course, to all of you guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.